So let me start the recording as well. This is a very specific topic. Today we are going to talk about ChatGPT Plus. I'm sure how many of you are using ChatGPT? Can you give me a react? Okay, cool. So I can see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you, Shamir, for joining in. Farheen, Praveen, and all the people who are joining the call. I really appreciate this. So this is going to be a quick call. I'm going to take the questions later on. Let me talk for a few minutes. And I have been using ChatGPT Plus for almost 2 months now. When this was launched in November 2022, I, being a data scientist for 18 plus years, I'm very fascinated by. I knew that something like this is coming up, right? When Google was had released the attention is all you need paper, which is the foundation of all these large language models and transformers that we are using right now. So this is not something very new, right? Like in November 2022, something was released out of the blue. This was in the making. This was in the making for a long time. And I have seen this, and I'm not talking to you as a social media influencer who just has heard about ChatGPT for the first time 2 months back and talking about it. I have 18 years of experience, and I have worked in projects where they were building transformers earlier on. Before this was a word. GPT is it is an old thing. GPT model had come out initially in 2019, and then slowly it has GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3. The ones that we are using right now in the free version is 3.5, and the pro version that I'm going to talk about, the plus version, using ChatGPT 4. And I'm going to talk about this from that experience. So don't just take it as a social media talk. This is more knowledgeable talk that I do, because many people are asking me. Many of my community members, many of my associates are asking, should we pay $20 for this? If ChatGPT, and to be honest, that's why I kept this call, and I would like your inputs as an audience here. There are 20 people, 25 people listening. This is this is not a part of our community initiative. This is just a random talk that I have done today for people to answer this question to a larger audience, right? Because individually answering becomes very, very tough for me as well. Okay, so ChatGPT Plus, initially, even 1 month back, I was not telling people to take it, because you could use similar version on Bing chat, on the Bing AI, because they were using a ChatGPT 4 option in which you could not pay money and you can use it. So I was telling many of my clients, many of my community members, don't invest $20 if because $20 for some people it may not be a big amount, but for many people it is a big amount, right? And why should we? And the question is not only about the amount. Why should we pay $20 per month for a thing that is available freely? So now the debate comes about Plus, and I may be correct and I may be wrong. I'm ready to take any feedback from the community leaders. I know there are leaders here like Shamir is here, or there are other people who are very much more learned than me. They can add their point, but this is personally my experience talking to a lot of people and using this tool hands-on for the last 2 months. I have used a lot of tools, right? I also am building my own custom LLMs, also fine-tuning LLMs, using Llama 2, using Falcon, but this is very specific of business use cases and for individuals who want to learn and who do want to invest that money in this new platform. So ChatGPT, as we all know, the 3.5 free version is a research preview. It is a research preview that OpenAI has started, and we all have been using it, and for last almost 7-8 months. And we are like we are a learning experiment for them. Do you guys notice? I'm sure many of you are using. The quality has gone down since just give me a react. Do you notice this? The quality of ChatGPT has gone down since the last few months. So Shamir, I know he's very experienced. He will notice. Kunal, Rayaj, Manisha, Kushal. So what happened? And see, this is coming from a data scientist. Is initially when we were using ChatGPT, we were getting output. We had an option of giving feedback and how happy we are with the answer. Why? You don't need to even tell them, because if you are reprompting for a particular thing twice, thrice, ChatGPT is intelligent enough to know that the output that you have received initially was not correct, and they give it a down weightage. This is the way it had learned. Initially 3-4 months, when everyone was using it, it was learning, and over that it built ChatGPT 4, right, the plus version, and it is fine, and it is, as we speak, it is improving. But now I give an anecdote, because many of you are not technical here, and it is not the correct way of also to explain, but just as a simple layman term, suppose before ChatGPT was using 100 CPU power to give you an output for one of your prompts. It was using 100 CPU because it was going through all the data, it was going through all the LLMs, it was checking for all the random options, giving you the best output that is there. Now there is no research confirmed news. There is no confirmed news about the numbers. I am just giving an anecdote. No one knows how much less, but they have reduced the CPU. So now suppose they were taking 100 before, now they take 20 CPU to generate one prompt output for you. So there is an 80% reduction. Why? Because we all know every prompt that we give, how much money is being used. We all don't think it is free. We all think it is free, and we don't care. But how much carbon footprint, how much money is OpenAI paying through Microsoft Azure services that are running behind to give you one prompt? If you do the maths, you will come to know. Someone has to pay for this initially, right? Someone has to pay for this. And that is why they have reduced the CPU power. And now if you are doing a very general prompt, you will not be happy with the results. And this is many of my clients and many of my students, and you can say community members are telling. But we have learned how to deal with it by improving our prompts or using other tools. That is a separate thing. But if you are a ChatGPT user, the buzz that was created since the last 7-8 months, and now if you go and use, you will not be that astonished, right? Because they have more, the quality has reduced. It is more now politically biased. It is making sure everything is getting captured. The creativity part is little bit losing in that 3.5 version. That personally I feel, and many of the people who have reacted here also in the call, they might also agree with that or disagree. We can talk. We can open the floor in next 10 minutes. Now that's why, to be honest, I had stopped using ChatGPT free version for I don't use it at all. I shifted to Bing Chat and Cloud 2 and all those other platforms, POE, for this main reason. And secondly, when I got ChatGPT Plus also I was not using, but when they introduced Code Interpreter, and some of my colleagues, some of my industry veterans started exploring this, then I thought that this is a revolution. Because this is like, not only ChatGPT is giving you outputs, Python codes, but it is running the code and giving you the output. And then this particular thing, when I came to know around some time back when it launched, then I thought that I needed to explore it. So at that time, I took the decision of taking the paid membership and exploring this tool, Code Interpreter specifically, because the plugins that are there can be used in Bing as well. There are powerful plugins, but I did not care so much about the plugins, but I started with the Code Interpreter. The power of Code Interpreter, if you start using it, right, to be honest, don't take it negatively, but it can make anyone as a data analyst. You can take a file up to 512 MB or less, load it on ChatGPT Plus Code Interpreter, ask it any question. Like, for example, you take, I'm going to do a workshop very soon. DLD, I'm based out of Dubai. There is a lot of transactional data from the government that they put it on the website, Dubai Pulse. I took out the data as an experiment, real data, right? It is a you can say dirty data, because there were Arabic also in that, because it is there is an Arabic section. It's a very dirty data, and it will take a lot of time to clean it in Python, which I had done it earlier when ChatGPT Code Interpreter was not there as a project. And now take the data, load it on GPT, tell it steps, ignore all the non-English data, keep the data clean, understand the data, normalize the data, clean the data. So you need to know the steps, right? There is no substitute to not knowing the steps. When I say a data analyst, he should know what he is doing. So it is not that anyone can become, but you should know the basic principle that you were doing earlier on in code. That basic knowledge has to be important, because you need to know what to ask. Because I had a lot of knowledge about what to ask, and I had 18 years of domain experience and all in this part. So I knew I could give them prompts, ask them the right questions, clean the data, make sure that the data is cleaned, do little iterations, and have the data ready, and then ask it to do analysis. So it was amazing experience. And then I started investing a lot of time in this. I started creating a lot of experimentation, because that is one of my work that I do. I create documents. So if you have to create any document, I'm sure we all are creating documents from ChatGPT and AI generated documents by giving prompts. You can instruct the suppose you're creating a document and you want a doc file or a PDF file of that document. You can instruct them to create a presentation with your logo, with a title, with a footer, with a header, with even right now image capability is not there to add, but you can upload images, and you can ask them to put images like your logo. If you want your logo in every page, you can ask that to do it, and then they will write the code. So how code interpreter works is there is a Python compiler. Whatever you say gets converted into a Python code, and it runs, and it is going to give you an amazing output with the PDF link. You just need to click the link, the PDF is downloaded. And this like really blew my mind around 1 month back, and it was like a revolution for me, because I used to create a lot of documents. I used to manually create them. I used to review it for sure, but now the PDFs are getting generated. PowerPoints are getting generated in the form of documents. Right now they don't have the PPTX enabled, but you can always take a PDF and convert it into a PPTX separately. Amazing. So I don't want to talk more about this. I'll open the floor to questions. And plugins also, link reader. You can give any link reader to, because as we know, ChatGPT does not have access to browse the internet, right? But with the link reader capability, you can give them the link of what page you want, and then like suppose I want to write a summary of my blog post on as a LinkedIn, right? I have written a blog post. I can give them the link reader link and tell them that I need to post a LinkedIn post. Give me a proper LinkedIn format with hashtags and a good emojis or whatever it is. It will summarize your data and it will give you the output, and you can use it. So to be honest, I was little bit I was moving away to Bing Chat, and I had done few workshops also about Bing. Bing is very good. Bing is very good for few tasks. ChatGPT Plus is very good for few tasks, right? You should know what task you should use it for. But for me, as a data scientist, as a content creator, as a business owner, this has been a really revolutionary thing, and I'm very glad that I took this. I learned about this, and I will personally tell the plugins are keep on adding, and I know there are a lot of plugins you cannot explore. There are around 100 plus plugins now in ChatGPT. You don't need to explore everything. You don't need to learn everything, right? Whatever business you are doing, whatever work that you guys are doing here, like try to use these tools to help you do the work. You don't need to learn for the sake of learning. Like why I code interpreter? Because see, Python I have been using for last 10 years. So I don't need to again write the code myself. Any code that gives an output, I always review the code. I see the code, I understand it is fine. If it is not fine, I will ask it to GPT to correct it, because that is the knowledge. So one thing I want to add, right? What is prompt engineering? When I say prompting, very good, you should know what you are prompting. There is no shortcut to not knowing what you are prompting. It is just the way you are asking a question. But you should know the background. You should know the knowledge. You should know what you are asking and what you want, because that is going to differentiate you how well you prompt. So now I open the floor. There is an option below, just near React. Come speak up. Ask any specific questions. If you have tried ChatGPT Plus, you have any feedback, it is good, it is bad, be free to come, share your thoughts. I will open the floor for questions. This call I have kept it for 1 hour, but if you have anything, we can take your questions, and I will continue with a few other points that I feel about the plugins that are there. I request people to come. This is a collaborative, this is a platform, a collaborative podcast platform where anyone can come. Allowed to speak option is there. I will give them the mic, and then you can give if positive feedback or any question. You agree, you don't agree, it is fine. And till people raise their hands, I'll just talk about our community platform that is there. This is an initiative of our community platform. If you can see the banner, nas.io/artificial intelligence. So we are trying to bring businesses and learners together and talk about AI, give the correct information about AI, not to get misguided with whatever buzz is happening. And I would encourage people to ask questions always, like in this platform also, who are here, who don't agree with me. Also, they can ask questions like why should we use this? Is it ethical, not ethical? It's good to get that questions because I know it is running in a lot of people's mind. But personally, I feel that this is the future. It's the way it is a tool, right? Like a knife. You can use it for, as you know, knife is an invention that has revolutionized the world, and also there are negatives of knives also, but you should always think about the positives of technology. And this is the way I personally feel that technology is going to move forward. And if you have not even used ChatGPT Plus till now, or ChatGPT, or you're just telling that it is going to fade away, the quality has surely gone down. The quality, and it will go down because it was an experiment. They have learned from it. Big companies have learned from it, and they are making money. They are making lots of money. The way search engine is going to change, we all know how SEO is going to change right now. How people are going to ask questions is going to change right now. So these things are going to happen. It will continue happen. We have to learn, and there is no choice. Like people will say, many of the people I met, that they feel it is a buzz, it is going to go away, like blockchain, web 3.0, metaverse. But I personally feel this is a part of us. AI is a part of us. We all have been using for a long time, and it is going to impact every decision maker that we are now. So please ask your questions. That will be very nice if you guys can contribute, ask your questions. I have put it on my community also. But I request people who are here to join. If you are not part of the community, please join nas.io/artificial intelligence. We have weekly 3 events. We have a meetup. It is going to be in the next 3 hours. There is going to be a community meetup where a person, Akash, is going to talk about generative AI under the hood, the maths behind generative AI. That link I can put it on this particular page as well. So do join that as well. And I'll request people to ask, or else we can stop the call early. I kept it long. I should have only kept it for half an hour, but that's fine. I will. Any questions, guys? Please. I'll request if you. I think I have a lot of familiar faces. It is very option. There is an option. Can you guys hear me? Can you give a react? Was this session useful? Did you learn anything from this session? Please, then I request you to just thank you very much. Do come in and ask questions. That is nice, or give a comment if you are comfortable. There is an option of allow speak. Praveen, I think Praveen, Robin is coming. Yeah, the first. So the first movers are always welcome. See, one person starts, every other person will start coming. It's good to have a conversation. Hey, Robin. Amex, go ahead.
Hello, hi. Hi, Mohammed. It was a nice chat, and a lot of things I learned about ChatGPT. I had a doubt regarding Llama 2, which I'm exploring currently. I'm trying to understand how I can use it to build a proprietary solution for my organization, just as a part of POC. So I had doubt regarding this, and the doubt was that if in case I'm downloading models and building something, is there a chance of information flowing out of the organization first? Second of all, I did try download and use it, but there were certain LangChain modules which would build a vector database for the embeddings, right? So I had a doubt that does since LangChain uses Hugging Face again for building this database, is there a chance of this information flowing out? And if in case there is a chance, is there a better way of building a solution which would restrict from doing that?
Very
Do
good
you have any
question.
knowledge about it?
Very good question, Robin. Very good question. And you're in Amex. So
Yes.
you are using. So personally, I feel right now there is a lot of noise around this LLMs, and Llama 2 is one of the open source models that are there. I will personally, with whatever limited knowledge I have, because this is a very changing field. I'm sure MX is a big company, and they have a cloud presence in AWS, or I don't you don't need to reveal it. Whatever cloud platform you have, what I will request is you Hugging Face and all is it's like an open source free version to try out for small companies which don't have sensitive data. But for your case, you need to get Llama to right now. That I don't know what is the infrastructure play that is Llama 2 available. I'm sure it will be can be done in AWS specifically. You can use Llama 2 model. You can use when I say using the Llama 2 models, you will understand what it is, right? It is weights. Basically, what is large language model? It, in a very broad way. I know I'm not going to tell the exact correct answer in few minutes. They have pre-trained your model on billions of parameters, right? Of all the open corpus data, Wikipedia data, and it has given weights to the words, correct? Like what is the weight if the roses are red, violets are what is the probability that the word will come blue? It is a very simple analogy, but it is giving the probability of sequence of words that are going to come in a very different structure of way that is there, that in a vector database or some in a way that is there. The weights of the words are there. So that model, you can use that model. That is your base model. You can fine tune the model. So you take the Llama 2 base model because they have open sourced it. So they have given you all the weights. They have given you all the weights of that data. Now you will take the data, put it in your cloud. Like because it's a big company, that's why I'm giving a scenario. If it's a small company, if you are a startup, you don't have a problem with your data, you can do it in Hugging Face. But for you, Robin, you need to think about a solution, and it is not a simple answer. You have to have a agreement with the cloud platforms and all those things. Get the data there, fine tune the data, because if you have an AWS account, for example, you can get all your data sets. I'm sure already having an S3 Sage, wherever you can use SageMaker, you can use LangChain in that to basically make a internal LLM. Internal means internal weights of the documents that MX has, and use this the base model, your internal model, fine tune the weightages, and then build over it. And you don't need to interact with Hugging, because see, if you go to Hugging Face and all those things, it is an open source and it is a confidential data. There is no guarantee, and I'm not sure MX will not even do that. It can do it for R&D projects, but if it comes to internal data, because now the weights of your internal stuff, right, the ones that you have trained on, if you're doing it in an open source platform, that it can build upon that, and it may leak, and it's not what you big companies want to do. So this is the way that I feel it is comfortable. Anyone here can please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is, I hope, Robin, I answered your question.
It was useful, Mohammed. Thanks a lot. I'll explore the options which you have given.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you for joining. Be part of our community. Also, we talk a lot about line chains, LLMs. It is nas. If you are a part of our AI community,
I think I am.
it's a WhatsApp
Okay.
community. Okay, cool. That's great. Cool. Syed Nizam, your questions, your thoughts.
Yeah, hi Arshad. I have 10 years of experience in non-technical background. Okay, so I want to learn data science and data analytics, but I'm not sure which field I need to choose. Having the experience of 10 years from last, still I'm working in a Cognizant. So what should I do, and what will the impact? How can I utilize my ChatGPT? Just you have explored that code interpreter, and I also saw so many institutes are providing the best data science code like Scalar, Great Learning platform. So, but I'm not sure. So, how can I utilize the ChatGPT code interpreter to learn data science, data analytics course? So it's a basic question you are covering in this session, like most advanced question and answer. But yeah, every day I watch the videos. I aware of this data science course as well, data science syllabus platform, and every day I participate your community as well. So how should I, like those who are belongs to non-technical background and they want to start a career like in generative AI, data science, data analytics. So how should they start?
Okay.
Having the experience of 10 years, 12 years,
Okay,
8 years, 5 years.
fine. I understand your question. I will not give you the answer. I will give you what is stopping you to become a data scientist.
Well, I'm very confused. Like which institute I need to join?
No. My question is, what is okay? Is that stopping you to become a data scientist?
Yep.
It is stopping you.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because some institutes they are providing placement, some institutes they are not providing placement, and even my friends are there, and they have started their data science career, but they till now they did not succeed, they did not get job in particular field. So that's why I am also scared about the incoming years, the data science and generative AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. It will be a very important part of in our life. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
So which institute should I take? Yeah.
So see, Syed, the way I mentor is very much different.
Yep.
I don't give you the answers because if you know my profile, I am a data scientist with 18 plus year experience. I have grown from the scratch, and I don't do marketing. There is no right answer. Anyone on the call can agree with me. There is no right answer there is no one answer to you. I will suggest you to talk to me one-on-one separately because there is no answer. I generally don't give advice like this because many people ask me this question, right? So there is no one answer for this. My only question is, you only have to introspect what is stopping you to become a data scientist. There is not, okay, you find out, introspect, get the answer, then you can set a call with me, and then these institutes and all are just a excuse. All right. I did not learn from any institute. I did not do any master in statistics or computers. If you see my background, I'm an electrical and electronics engineer, and I have done everything by myself. Right? So there's not an excuse. There is no shortcut to success. You should have the why the why you want to become a data scientist should be very clear. And what is stopping you? And then you have to introspect, and then you can talk to me if you want correct guidance. If you want to waste money, you can always go and take any institute, and that is up to you. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions? Thank you, Ashraf, Asia. They are a part of our community for a long time. Yatinder, Vanilla, Kushal. Any more questions? Please come up. And this is the way to answer, because this is the question that many people ask. There is no answer. You have to introspect, right? And these tools have come, like what I'm telling you now, it has become more harder for new people to get into data science and AI. Because now everyone can become a data science analyst now. You don't even need to spend years to learn it. But that is not the way. That is not the way to do it. So let me, Nitish, go ahead. You can unmute. See, Nitish is hiring data science professionals.
Yeah. Hi, Arshad. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Just wanted to check with you on your perspective on the future of data science.
Yeah, very good question.
Because all these generative AI, ChatGPT and all, so whatever we need, right, we are getting the ready-made answers, right? So in that case, what would be the feature?
So I want to, okay, let me know your background. Sorry to, because you are high. Are you a data scientist?
I was into data science. I worked in data science field for like more than 10 years.
By the way, we both worked in absolute data. I was in absolute data for a brief time before you. You were in absolute data in July 2013. I left in November 2012. So
nice.
I see your profile.
Good.
Very, very good profile. So to be honest, see, I am sure you will appreciate this, Nitesh. Is asking the data scientist word, prompting and all that is a very new word. It has been for a long time because that is called requirement gathering. We as a consultant, what is the work of a consultant? Like the way he asked me a question, right? Mr. Sayyed Nizamuddin. I did not give him an answer. I asked him questions. Why? I asked him, I tried to get more information to help me analyze and give a solution. This is very, very important. And prompting is just a key buzzword, right? You understand, I'm sure, because your experience, you can understand that it is just a buzzword to ask the right questions. It is to ask the requirement gathering, because that is very, very important even to use these tools, right? Because when I was using code interpreter, because I could use it properly, because I know what all goes in data cleaning. Because I have done hands-on on data cleaning, I have spent, we all know that 80% of the work goes in data cleaning. You miss out small things in data cleaning. You cannot use code interpreter directly to do data cleaning. I will tell you on record, because they miss out few integrities, right? Like suppose their industry, there is a huge data set with industry names. There can be a small spelling mistake, like fintech can be FINTTECK. ChatGPT is not that smart that it is going to get that difference and fix it. Till now, it is not that smart. You have to introspect. You have to make sure whatever output is coming to recheck it. Because see, in data science, you understand data cleaning is the most important part. Because if the data is clean and then you start your analysis. If something is wrong in the data, whatever analysis you get is a garbage. So to make sure that whatever data you are getting is good, it is accurate, it is proper, then to ask the right, like do feature engineering on the data. What things that you have to get out of this data, because data is raw, you cannot just use raw data, you need to make feature selection. That you have to have that background from the business side and to understand. So there are 3 skills that are very important, Nitesh. One is the domain skill, that is going to come from experience. No one is going to teach you that. Second is now programming skills, the logic building and all has reduced little bit, but at least you should know how it is working and what is working to even see the Python output and modify it. And the third and the most neglected part now is maths and statistics. Everything is based on maths and statistics. These tools may become very advanced. You don't need to know maths and statistics, but when you are doing data analysis, the population you are taking, the numbers you are taking, you have to have in your mind, is it enough to statistically or significantly tell whether this is an accurate assumption or not. For that, I think more importance should come on statistics part right now, maths and statistics part, because that is very, very important. So I will tell you, the growth of data scientists will become more right now. Because there were 3 verticals that data scientists used to focus on, right? The programming will reduce little bit, but the others will increase. And data scientist, as you also know, Nitesh, is a all-rounder person. He has to know all those things, right? He has to know all the 3 bubbles to become a good data scientist. The programming part will become little bit lesser, but the other part will increase. he has to do more statistical analysis with more confidence. The accuracy of models will increase because of these tools. Now you can try to build multiple models to see how the accuracy is becoming, how you are interpreting the data, how you are interpreting the output. There is a future. Data scientists because you also know, I'm sure you are hiring data scientists. Quality data scientist is very tough to get. You may get a good, because I have done this, I know, you will get a good programmer, but you will not get from other two buckets. And there is always a big issue in that. Getting a good data scientist hiring, you will understand, you can tell with me, is not easy. And these tools will make people a better data scientist. What I personally feel, you can agree, disagree. I hope I answered your question, Nitish.
Yeah, Arshad, makes sense. The way you broke down my question into multiple parts, right? Programming skills, domain knowledge, output interpretation and all, makes sense because the model accuracy and the performance of the model increases going forward with the availability of all the tools and all. So one should be able to understand the model output, and also as per the scenario, they have to say that, okay, these are the metrics which we are going to optimize for this particular scenario and all. That level of knowledge people should have. Yeah, makes sense. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add, Nitish, because you are there in this field for a long time. You know, the first model I built in HP for propensity modeling, it was a logistic regression for a B2B, for the B2B for HP, wherein they needed to do the analysis for the customers, what is the propensity to buy a particular Dell for B2B customers, product line. So this was my first model that I built, and we used to do a lot of groundwork because that time we used to use SAS platform. There was these buzzwords were never there, and this platform was a closed source platform, and it took me so much time to first of all learn. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. People started with logistic regression, and then now there are like 10 plus classifiers in the market.
Yeah.
And like sometime back, if a person knows logistic regression, he was considered to be a hero. Now one should know like 10 plus classifiers and then the scenarios where each of these classifiers are working and all. Like, yeah, interesting space to be in right now.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, so the future is there. Nitish.
Yeah,
now I will tell that it is, but you have to be careful and not to get lost in this bubble. Because there are so many things that are going, as Nitish also told, you need to know 10 classifiers. But see, suppose now if you don't understand logistics, like if Nitish, if you don't understand logistic regression properly, do you think you will even get a chance to get hired? If you're not able to answer for logistic regression properly, even if you know the buzzword, even if you know SVM, gradient, XGBoost, and all these, you know the words. But if you cannot answer, because they will always start with a basic, they will always ask with linear logistic. And what happens nowadays, because I'm talking to many people, they say CNN, neural network, deep net, and all those things. When I ask them a simple question about logistics, they're not able to answer. So there is no point of knowing 10 algorithms, just the name, when you can't know the basic of how logistic works. Because logistic, linear, clustering, these are the basic model building blocks. And I personally, I know I'm an old conventional guy of person. When I take interviews, I try to judge with the basic algorithms first. If they are able to answer me logistics only properly, then I know he knows logistic and he can learn the 10 classifiers that Nitish has told. But if he does not know logistics and he is bluffing, if you bluff and if you don't know the answer and you bluff, that is a X for me. I reject that person immediately. If you don't know an answer, you tell you don't know an answer. No, because you can get these tools to get you an answer, because technology is going very fast. But for me personally, maybe people will agree or not, credibility and honesty is very important. Because in data science, if you don't know something, if you fake it, and if other person knows it, your credibility is gone. And you cannot expect this in this industry, because the data scientists are known to be trusted with data, so they are respected for this. You may lie with the data, but if it is not, your credibility will go. If people find out this, they will not trust your outputs. So this is one thing that I learned in Accenture a lot. Whatever you do, make sure that the output is correct, and you talk about all the assumptions and all the scenarios, and you whatever algorithms you're using, talk about it. Don't try to just use technical stuff without knowing what is actually happening in the back end. So that, thanks Nitish, it was very nice talking to you. Any more questions anyone has, or we can just wind up the session. Thank you everyone. If there is, I think one more question, we'll take one or two questions and then we can wind up. Go ahead, Mr. Narsi Reddy.
Hi Arshad, good afternoon. Hi everyone. I like the statement whatever you said about data cleaning activities. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. 80% of the effort we might need to invest in the data cleaning, and 20% is the rest. All means for a proper model accuracy, we need clean data, right? So I'm basically, to introduce myself, I'm a data engineering expert. I'm also having around 15 years in the industry experience. So I would like to know about I see the growth rate of data scientist is more nowadays. So data engineering versus data scientist, right? So how can you segregate between these two going forward? So for a data scientist, data engineering is needed. For data engineer, data science skills are needed.
So very good question, Narsi Reddy. So when I talk data engineering, data scientist, whatever I told Nitesh and I explained, it is little bit different. I will tell you why. Because data engineering I respect data engineering. It is a very, very important role, but it is little bit different from data scientist, right? Data engineering, just think like that. It is the part of the supply chain wherein you are getting data from different sources to your RDBMS or JSON or vector database in that format. So you are basically in that part of the supply chain to make sure that the data is coming, the pipelines are working fine, and the data is there in that particular final tables or the databases for your project. So after that the data scientist or the data analyst take over in the second part of the supply chain. So right now, to be honest, initially this term is very new, right? Data engineering. So in the 18 years that I was working, this word was never used. They were basically called as tech. There were software teams or tech teams who used to dump the data on a staging server, and then from there there was a DBA team. It was called a database administration team who used to put that in tables and proper structure, create the schema and all those things. Now things have evolved. As you know, there are JSON files, there are multiple vector databases, images. So things have evolved, but you think about that supply chain, right? Getting the data to your final data set from where your data analyst and data scientist take the data and work. So there is growth on both the sides. Honestly, it depends upon your interest and your skills. So coming to one person asked, right, what you want to do, what excites you. Both are a different career path, to be honest. That is what I feel. There are great data engineers who have become data scientists, but to become a data scientist, I told 3 things what I was telling Nitish you have to focus on. You don't need to be a very good coder, but you need to be very good in maths and statistics and domain knowledge, to infer from the data, to ask questions, and that is a business mindset that comes. For data engineers, the main mindset is that pipeline does not fail. The data is coming in a proper format. You are becoming very transactional, but we are becoming very, you can say, business oriented. We are going to talk about numbers, impact. You're getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Mr. Kushal.
Yeah, Arshad. Am I audible to you first of all?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. So my question is a bit off the topic over here. But I would love to hear your thoughts, like how Gen AI is changing the landscape for enterprises over here.
It's already changed, right?
Yeah, it's already changed. Yeah.
So how? So I have in my community, I have a series every week I run on a Thursday where I talk about generative AI use cases. So this is off the topic because this is this, but I will tell you. See, AI is very old, right? AI is in 1956. AI is there, big techs have been using this for a long time. Okay, what has happened differently is in this work that I told earlier. If you're there in the call earlier, it was going on for a long time. This large language model, 2018, Google started it, and it was going on. It is not a very new thing, but now what did OpenAI do? It took the risk and put this to the public. It took the risk and put it to the public, and now people, because we knew about this technology for a long time, but now people who are outside the data science fraternity, they started exploring this and seeing the power of it. So the first thing is, now see, the businesses we are talking right now, the main thing is businesses have to adopt this, and they are now openly ready to adopt these technologies. They are planning to use LLMs and try to, the chatbots that they have been using, they can make it much better, more interactive. Many manual things that have been happening will get automated, will get more automated. So they were already automated for the big techs. Now it is going to go for everyone. Like, I run a small company. Most of my work is now done through AI. So I don't need a big team, right? I had, sorry to say, it is nothing controversial, but I'm a small company and I can't afford to hire so many people, right? But I have to grow I have to scale my business, and AI is helping me to do that, and I will use AI to do that. It is more convenient for small businesses like me to do that, because I am global as well as that is going to happen more and more. Now smaller companies are going to use AI and scale, and the hiring will really take a hit. This is what I feel. Big companies already have started doing this. You will see the number of hiring has really reduced. All the automated tasks are going to get more automized. Already the customer services are going to get affected more and more. They're going to reduce. It has already started reducing. Now, before it was 100, now it is going to, it became 20, now it is going to become 5. It is a revolution. The impact is, and India being from India, and I feel India is very well positioned because they have a lot of data science professionals. We are the ones who are going to build these tools and technologies to help businesses do this, and more jobs will be created in the prompt engineering space. People who can ask the right questions, who can design these systems, who can design chat, because designing a chatbot, because I was doing projects, it's not easy. It took me, coding is a separate part, right? Because coding is okay, but how to design a chatbot to answer for that same context, not to go outside. Because see, before, what is the thing, I'll tell you. Before, I have created a lot of chatbots. I used to only give a small set of data, train the chatbot, and they will give you an answer which was very robotic. But now if you use LLMs to train your chatbot, what happens, it can go to any context. If you ask something about Python, it may answer you something about snakes. I'm just giving you an example. So you have to give a context, and you have to write the prompt in such a way, you have to give instructions, and that is why you hear the buzzword prompt engineering. Don't think it is just writing ChatGPT prompt. That is not what prompt engineering is. How to design the context, how to make sure that the bot is answering within the context and it is not hallucinating and giving a bad user experience is the challenge. And I have written, to be honest, prompts context for more than 5,000, 6,000 lines for one of the projects. So I had to think and write. I had a team who was to design all the iterations that is possible to make sure that these questions are answered, these questions are not answered. This is the future, my friend. Very bright.
Yeah, it's true. I do agree to that, Arshad. Yeah, it was wonderful to hear your thoughts on this. And when are we looking at the traction that we are getting from the market? Clients are very much interested in exploring Gen AI, but I feel there are still hitches coming from the clients. It's like, if this doesn't work, and there are a lot of questions, but yeah, it's like, it's going to be wonderful. Means like in coming 1 year or 2 year, companies would already be implementing this ChatGPT, and it would be a whole production level graded thing.
See,
Arshad,
the first way, every customer facing company have already started using LangChain, OpenAI, LLMs little bit to train some of the parameters, because what happens, see, in English language there is, for one question you can ask it in 100 types, and it is humanly impossible to use it using your own chatbots, your own language, your own LLMs, your personal defined dictionary that you call, right? So they have already started using the plugins, I know. But the problem with, if you directly use an OpenAI, as I told you, right, it can go anywhere, and that is a problem where companies are facing right now, and they need people who are little bit experienced in making that context. And that is what I personally feel. Every company, I'm sure, online company that you see, it can be Zomato, it can be Swiggy, they are using chatbots. Paytm. Now the chatbots are going to get more and more automated and more personalized and more better, because we all, to be honest, right now, since this last you all know, we are all frustrated with chatting with chatbots or AI assistant, right? We all are frustrated because of the experience. That experience is going to get much better. You will not feel like that you're talking to an AI chatbot or an AI person on the call. It is going to become more and more humanized. That is the first place where you will see the biggest impact of generative AI in customer experience.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, thanks, Arshad.
Any more questions from this community? Please join our community NAS.io/artificial intelligence. We are going to have our meetup in 2.5 hours, where we have one speaker, Akash Murthy, is going to talk about generative AI under the hood, basically how this maths behind generative AI is. Finally, at the end of the day, it is probability. Everything is based on probability. It's as simple as probability, and that over the probability they have built a whole system. And it's very interesting to know these things, how maths is evolved. So I'll request people, thank you all for joining. If there are no more questions, thank you, Ashraf, Asya. We have one Praveen. I will take his question because he's one of the active community members. Yeah, go ahead, Praveen. You're on mute. Last question. You're on mute, Praveen. There is an unmute option. There is an unmute option below your screen. Okay. Or you can put your question in the chat. I can take it. I think there is some issue. Okay. Praveen? Okay, I think he is. Can you try again? I think he has left. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a great day. I think he has joined again. You want to speak again, Praveen? Okay. Thank you everyone. Have a great day. I think there is some issue on his technical side. Thank you, Ashraf. Thank you, CJ. Thank you everyone for joining this quick webinar audio event, and see you at the community meetup, and be part of our community. We have 3 events every week, and this was a special event that I just planned because many people were asking about ChatGPT Plus. And thank you all, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye bye.
Thanks, Arshad. Yeah, bye everyone.